Hello everyone. I am Gho-Paranorma. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, then welcome. I like to read and talk about ghosts, everything haunted, unexplained, and spooky. In the last few videos, I have been talking about haunted lighthouses, hotels, spooky hikes, and more. For this video, I wanted to talk about some good old glitch in the Matrix experiences. Mostly because I personally love reading about them, and also because I wanted to share a few I found from 14 years back on Reddit. As usual, I will share the link to the original posts and usernames, so that you guys can check them out too. Okay, so let's start with the first glitch in the Matrix experience. This one is more eerie than an obvious glitch. But, this was posted by Kerwapple 6 years ago. Here is what they wrote. I remember being rather young, about 9 or 10 years old, and I was at the car park of a pub in England, Southend. I remember seeing someone in their teens in the window of a house looking over the car park. They waved at me, and I felt like I knew them somehow. My parents asked who I was waving at, and I said, "Just some lady in the window over there." I didn't think much of it. Then, fast forward 10 years. I was at my grandma's new house. I remember walking into her room, which I was never allowed to do, and going to the window. I then realized I was in the house looking over that same parking lot from a decade ago and remembering that interaction from years before. Then a girl around 9 or 10 who was in said car park waved at me and I waved back. I felt like I knew her. I could not explain it and have never told anyone about it. It freaked me out. So, what do you guys think? Was this a mere coincidence? What are the chances that the familiar feeling of knowing the other person would grip them at both those instances? Comment your thoughts below and do share if you have had similar encounters. Okay, let's move on to the next experience. This one blew my mind, and I want to know what you guys think about it. This was posted 14 years ago on Reddit by Sarax11. This is what they wrote. When I was around 20, a few years ago, mind you, the post was made, maybe around 2011, I kept having dreams about a woman with long black hair named Aurora, pronounced Aurora. They were different dreams, but for some reason, her distinct face and name always ended up in them. It got to the point where I would wake up frustrated and confused, trying to Google her name or find out how I was connected to her. After a few months, she stopped showing up, and I dismissed it, thinking my brain was just being a scumbag. Fast forward a few years to Halloween 2009. I'm in the car with a friend, and we stop at a gas station. I'm about to pull out and merge onto a highway when I get a phone call from a random number, so I stop the car, but no one answers. There was a person behind me who grew impatient, honked at me, and then swerved in front of me instead of waiting for 2 seconds for me to move. The second they get on the highway, a silver Civic loses control of their wheel and crashes into the car that swerved in front of me. I called the cops and waited at the gas station for them to come. Turns out the drivers of both cars died. It 100% would have been me if I hadn't gotten that phone call. Called it back a few hours later out of gratitude and curiosity, rang 3 times, and went to voicemail. "Hi, you've reached Aurora, please leave your name and number." I never had goosebumps like that in my life. I called the number again the next day, because I was that confused about the whole situation. Some woman answers, we get to talking, I tell her my entire story, including the dreams I had. She tells me she doesn't know how I got her number and that she never called me as far as she remembers. Weird. I ask her if she has a Facebook account to confirm if she is, in fact, the woman in my dreams. I check her Facebook, and it's her. If that's not a glitch in the Matrix, then I'm just batshit crazy. Crazy, isn't it? I felt chills while reading this because it almost felt unreal. What are your thoughts about it? Okay, now let's move on to the next glitch in the Matrix experience. This post is from the same subreddit as the one by Sarax11 and was also posted 14 years ago, around 2011. I will mention their username on the screen because I wonder if YouTube will flag this video because of the username, but I will call them K. So, this is what they wrote. I've relayed this story before, but here goes. The parallel universe answering machine. This happened about 15 years ago. I called my friend up, and he wasn't home, so I left a message on his answering machine. I said, "Hey, it's me, Kay. Sorry, I missed you. Call you later. Bye." And then I hung up and left the house. I made no other calls. Later that day, he called back and he said, "Wow, that was quite a message you left. Who was that girl you were talking to?" I was like, "What are you talking about? I wasn't talking to any girl." Well, as it turns out, the message didn't end after I said bye. I had to go over to his house and listen to this message a few times. After my initial message that I did leave, as quoted above, there was a slight pause, and it continued on for another 30 to 40 seconds or so with me talking to some girl. It was my voice, but a conversation I never had with a girl whose voice I didn't recognize. You could compare it to the message I know I did leave, and the two voices were indistinguishable. Not just the voice but, talking mannerisms were similar too. It was my voice. Also, references to my occupation and activities were the same. Basically, in this conversation, I was talking to this girl about going skiing, but I had to go down to my shop and work on a car first, which totally correlated with my situation. Then the message just stopped. It was recorded on one of those digital answering machines that recorded the message to a chip, so there was no tape I could have taken and had analyzed, unfortunately. Also, neither I nor my friend had party lines, so that's not an explanation. It was very freaky, I can't explain it. TLDR, I may have connected to an alternate universe through a telephone answering machine. This one is freaky too. I always wonder about the specific situations that lead to these glitches. I mean, it's not a regular weekday kind of occurrence. They happen once in a blue moon for the majority of people, but leave such a strong impression on the psyche. Alright, here is the last glitch in the Matrix experience for today's video. This one continues with the theme of eerie dreams that double as warnings from unexplained forces. This was posted 6 years ago on Reddit by the Bronzer Bear. Here is what they shared. I used to have a recurring dream as a teenager every night for months. I was sitting at a table on the patio of a restaurant. I was out there alone, waiting for my food. A homeless man comes up to the other side of the patio and asks for change. I'm digging in my wallet for a couple dollars and then I hear tires screech and look up to see a crash in an intersection near the restaurant. I run out there to see if I can help, and as I run out into the road I get hit by a car and wake up at the impact. After a while the dream stopped and I put it out of my mind. Fast forward to me being 28 and sitting at a restaurant, on the patio waiting for my food. A homeless guy comes walking past the restaurant but doesn't stop and ask for change. It makes me think about that dream though, and I start to feel uneasy. Shortly after, I hear the tires screech and I see a wreck happen in the intersection near the restaurant. I begin to run out there but stop at the sidewalk and look out towards incoming traffic, and there is an SUV not slowing down. The driver was on her phone and blew through the intersection, completely unaware of what had just happened. I ran out and checked on the people. Everyone was fine. How can we explain these strange experiences? Is there a logical explanation to this? One comment under that post said that the homeless man could have been an angel. But whether it is a glitch or whether it is something supernatural, it is definitely surreal to live through the dream, but the reality is just slightly different, and that small change has a butterfly effect that kept OP alive. What are your thoughts about this experience? Have you ever had similar dreams or premonitions? Share them here in the comments down below. That's all for today's video, and I will see you guys next time with more spooky and haunted stories. Bye.